Hello friends, there are two petrol versions. 35i with a turbocharged 3-liter N55 series R6 with a return of 306 horsepower, 50i with the 4.4-liter V8 biturbo N63 series 449 horsepower. The hybrid BMW X5 xDrive 40e came with the 2-liter 4-cylinder petrol turbo engine of the N20 family. The total power of the power plant is 313 horsepower. Diesel versions were equipped with an inline 6-cylinder 3-liter N57 turbo diesel, but with a different number of turbines, 25D and 30D, with 218 and 249 horsepower respectively. 40D with 313 horsepower, and M50D with 381 horsepower. In addition to the number of turbines, the M50D differs in the cooling system, cylinder head, and piston range. In Europe, the 25D version was equipped with a 4-cylinder 2-liter N47 biturbo diesel series, 220 horsepower, and since 2015, B47, 231 horsepower. Gasoline 6-cylinder engines of the N55 series are considered to be quite heat-loaded. In various BMW models, they sometimes upset by turning the liners after 100 to 150,000 kilometers. Cases are few, but similar incidents also affected the BMW X5 F15. Moreover, in addition to the liners, the crankshaft could be damaged and the engine block could be deformed. It is believed that the disease is typical for chip-tuned engines, whose owners prefer a dynamic driving style. The unit version 50i, V8 N63, is also at risk of serious malfunctions. Turbochargers, exhaust manifolds, and catalytic converters are located right in the collapse of the block. High thermal loads lead to rapid aging of the valve stem seals, oil burn, coking of the rings, and the oil supply pipe to the turbine. One of the preventive measures is the periodic replacement of valve stem seals every 80 to 120,000 kilometers. Diesel versions went through a service campaign to replace the EGR radiator. One of the main drawbacks of the 6-cylinder N57 is the accumulation of soot in the intake tract by 100 to 150,000 kilometers. A large amount of soot leads to disturbances in the operation of the swirl flaps. The timing chain of a 3-liter diesel engine will last over 200 to 250,000 kilometers, but the supports of the power unit may become unusable after 150,000 kilometers. In the top-end M50D, a small turbine occasionally falls. All X5 F15 engines were mated to an 8-speed ZF automatic. The box is quite durable. Owners sometimes complain about jolts when switching, but it usually doesn't come to a serious repair. One of the conditions for the longevity of the box is the timely renewal of the working fluid. Small suspension travels, a simple transmission, and mediocre geometric cross-country ability do not add confidence away from paved roads. The xDrive all-wheel drive system is an electronically controlled multi-plate clutch. By default, the torque is distributed along the axes in a ratio of 40 to 60. After 50 to 100,000 kilometers, smudges, fogging, are sometimes found from under the oil seals of the rear gearbox or transfer case. If the leak is not eliminated in time, then the rear gearbox may buzz. During operation, it is necessary to periodically update the oil in the gearboxes and transfer case. The schematic diagram of the X5 F15 suspension, in comparison with the E70, has not changed. A 2-lever front and a multi-link rear. But thanks to other settings of springs and shock absorbers, the Bavarian crossover began to ride softer without losing control. The front suspension arms are surrendered after 50 to 100,000 kilometers. If the silent blocks can be replaced separately, then the ball bearings are only assembled with a lever. Rear suspension silent blocks will last over 150 to 200,000 kilometers. For a surcharge, air mounts were installed on the rear axle, except for 25D and xDrive 40E. The resource of air springs is about 100 to 150,000 kilometers. Factory shock absorbers usually go over 150,000 kilometers. Sometimes you have to update the front wheel bearings. It is still too early to talk about body iron corrosion. Usually, there are no complaints about the quality of the paintwork. For information, the hood is made of aluminum, and the front fenders are made of plastic. With age, the shadow-lined side window trims lose their gloss. In the cabin, after 6 to 8 years, scuffs are sometimes found on the cushion of the leather driver's seat, or the upholstery on its sidewall may burst. So far, there are no systematic problems in the electrical part. If you know of any other model malfunctions, be sure to write about it.